Walker here. All the attorneys that were here last Thursday as well during the sentencing.
I'm right behind you. I'm getting back. I'm trying to get behind. Calm down. You're a tangle with the cable.
You guys tell me when you're ready.
Right there.
Thank you.
You want me to get back there?
Yeah, I sure do. Come on.
You got a shot?
Am I okay? Yeah, you're okay.
Does this sound okay? Does this sound okay?
You guys ready? Tell me whenever you're ready and I'll start. I got no... I'm sorry? Okay. Okay, no problem.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. The black one was the one.
You sound okay, or you want a hard wire?
There's two. Which one?
The black one.
You want a hard wire, or it sounds okay? Sounds okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
What's it called? Okay.
You guys good?
Everyone good?
Good? 1 second, guys. Check.
We're good, man. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Here.
Hard wire?
Jesus.
Sorry. 20 seconds. I check 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Ready? Okay. Obviously, the Smollett family, they're very, very happy with today's developments. The legal team, Ms. Riddell, Mr. Allen, Ms. Walker, and Ms. Lewis, and myself, we're very elated about this. Let me make something clear. There is no room for politics in our court system, and our appellate courts in this great state do not play politics. Let me make something clear. When this case was initially re-indicted, when this case was prosecuted, when this case was sentenced, at each of those steps, I wondered to myself whether Chicago has seceded from the Union. Because in this country, you cannot punish a person twice. And while everyone was focused on the sensationalism surrounding this case, people were not focused on the constitutionality of the prosecution. And we've been trying to tell everyone that. It is unconstitutional to charge someone twice. Mr. Smollett paid a $10,000 fine. Let me repeat it again, because our appellate courts are listening. Paid a $10,000 fine and did community service. Now, there's no time machine to go back in time to undo those things. His $10,000 fine hasn't even been returned to him, right? And then you re-indict the case and you give him 30 months probation for a class 4 felony with a man with no criminal record, felony record. 30 months probation, you give him 150 days in jail, you give him what else? You make him do restitution of $120,000, and then you give him the maximum fines. You know, and there's something wrong with that. We've been complaining about the disparate treatment of African Americans in the judicial system, regardless of what you think about this case. Some people might think Mr. Smollett is guilty. I disagree. We all disagree. But that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. But the real question is, should black men be walked into jail for a class 4 felony? Shame on you if you think they should. That's a disgrace. It's wrong. We're talking about decarceration in this day and age. The Trump administration, the Obama administration, the Roland administration in Illinois, and people are still trying to lock black men up, and it's a disgrace. Now, the judge's sentencing, couldn't disagree more with it. The judge spends a great deal of time chastising, berating my client. I've never seen that, and I thought it was unprofessional. That's my personal opinion. Not happy with that. And we look forward, now that this case is gone to the appellate court, to actually having finally an intellectual conversation about the constitutionality of this case. I'm not playing politics. That's all I'll say for now.
How's everybody doing?
Could you spell your name? Give your name and spell it.
Shay Allen is S-H-A-Y, and it's no coincidence that we're here today. I think we're here because the appellate court realized this was the right thing to do. I hope everyone realizes that the persecution that went on in that courthouse was absurd, and that the sentence was a draconian sentence. It was excessive, and I've always called this case a class 4 murder. Apparently, this case is more important than the 20% clearance rate of the murders that are here in Chicago. Apparently, any citizen in Chicago, if they want to, if they don't like the decision that this duly elected official makes, can saunter into the courtroom and ask for a special prosecutor. I hope every citizen of Chicago realizes how important this case is, because this could be you. You may think, oh, that's ridiculous, I would never do these things that he's accused of, but you can definitely be charged for something you didn't do. You should never, ever be charged again for something that you had already been prosecuted for. It's important. Do not minimize it. It's not a joke. Thank you.
It should also not be minimized.
Heather,
Yes.
give your name and spell it.
Heather Widdell, W-I-D-E-L-L. It should not be minimized, the issue of being tried in the court of public opinion and having to feel that you need to prove your own innocence. That goes against a major tenet of not just obviously Illinois, Cook County, but the United States judicial system. Mr. Smollett had to come into this courtroom 2.5 years after this incident occurred and felt that he needed to prove his own innocence. And again, that's patently unfair. That's not how the system works. It's not how the system should work. And the sentence that Judge Lynn doled out was completely devoid of any sort of intellectual curiosity or prowess. And I think, again, the appellate court, we're very, very much looking forward to having a non-political discourse with them that is intellectual, that's understanding of the laws, that are understanding of what Class 4 felonies mean, what the statutes are designed for by the legislature of this state. And again, moving forward, I hope that everyone understands, like Mr. Allen said, the very important nature of this case and the implications for every single citizen of this state and of this county, that anybody is capable of being charged with a crime. Anybody is capable of being charged with a felony, and you are absolutely entitled to not say a word. You're absolutely entitled to speak in your own defense, and you're absolutely entitled to representation by attorneys. So we're very elated that Mr. Smollett is out, and the work is not finished at this point.
Hello, Tamara Walker, T-A-M-A-R-A. We are just pleased, we are overjoyed that the appellate court was able to cut through the politics, to cut through the smoke screen, and was able to understand that we have real, definitive issues for people. And that's why they made the decision that they made. This is a very serious issue that any American can lose their presumption of innocence, should be an affront to us all. And you all saw during the sentencing how Judge Lynn took it upon himself to not only sentence our client, which is his right as a judge, but to character assassinate him. Let's not forget that the least act of a man is not the measure of a man. And we had letters of support from the NAACP who talked about the disparate treatment that black males receive in the criminal justice system. It is time to have that conversation, and we are elated that the appellate court is able to decipher the legal issues here and apply the correct standard, and we look forward to this process playing out. Thank you.
Questions?
Nene or whoever spoke with Jussie this evening to inform him he was getting out of jail. Tell us about that phone call. What was his reaction?
The first thing Jussie did was he, what separates us in the jail because of COVID is the glass, and he pushed his hands on the glass, and his eyes got teary, and I've never seen that because he's been very strong in there, and he said, "I nearly lost hope in our constitutional system." And he did say that. He did say that. And that was his reaction. He was shocked. I think he had nearly given up. I can't speak for him. You would have to ask him that question, but just looking at him, a human to another human, put in a cage for a class 4 felony. It's a shame. You know? So I hope the media would actually, instead of leaving here today and reporting about how he walked out and what, report on the constitutionality. Should the press, the #1 defenders of the Constitution, the fourth arm of government, should you be standing by reporting on how, oh, I think this is crazy, Jussie did this, maybe he did this, as opposed to standing there and asking yourselves in your newsroom, is this right? Could this happen to any one of us? Could someone come by and say, hey, listen, guys, I grew up in Nigeria under military rule. It's dangerous. We're playing with fire. The idea that a person can be charged twice, report that. Talk about that. The appellate court took a look at our emotions. We submitted it to them. Focus. Stop focusing on sensational stuff. These are not tabloid papers. Focus on the real stuff. Is it right for a person to be punished twice? You know? And I'm going to say, is he getting all this attention because he accused 2 white men, or according to the media reports, is it because somehow the accusations were about, Jussie said it was a white guy? Is that what's really going on? Because multiple reports, false reports, are made against black men all over the country. Nobody cares. They're under-prosecuted, non-prosecuted. Nobody cares. Why is it this one? What's really going on? Why are people so charged about it? Right? This is ridiculous. And you guys have to start doing your jobs. I've said it before, my father had a Fulbright scholarship in journalism. He was a professor of journalism. Do your job. Get out there. Ask the right questions. I'm tired of reading the papers and reading tabloid stuff. Talk about the Constitution. Ask the question, should he be charged a second time? I mean, it's frustrating. We've been through a year and a half of nonsense. And it has to stop, guys. Please. Focus on the Constitution. Focus on whether this is right. Any other questions? Sorry, it's been long.
When is your next court date? What's the next legal step?
Well, of course, we are going to, right now he's out. We're waiting for further ruling from the appellate court, and we're going to, of course, begin a normal appeal. What we did initially was an emergency appeal, and now we're going to start the wheel for a regular appeal. And they release a schedule once I make that application. So that's coming soon. No question.
Could you talk about the timing of this and how getting him out of jail, because the appeal process is so long and he would have easily spent his sentence?
Isn't that scary? Isn't that scary? Isn't that scary? Shouldn't that be frightening to everyone? Tomorrow it could be anyone's family member. It was really, if I'm understanding your question right, it was a scary moment for us. And even a day spent in the jail is scary. He's been here for how long? 6 days? That's scary. Right? That's scary. And he hasn't eaten. Guys, he hasn't eaten for 6 days.
Why?
Maybe he knew spiritually something we didn't know, right? So he hasn't eaten for 6 days.
Why?
Well, I'm sorry?
Why hasn't he eaten?
I'm going to find out from him. But maybe being in a cage for a class 4 is enough to make you not to eat. I wouldn't eat either. I'll be upset.
Daniel, what does he relate to?
So hold on, Charles.
I just wanted to ask, he left very quickly, he didn't answer any questions or make any comments. Where is he going? Where is he going to spend his time now?
Come on. Charlie.
What does Jussie relate to you about his time, these 6 days here in County?
You know, he's been really, really strong. Each time, we've all seen him every day, and each time we've gone in there, he's been very strong. You know, honestly, I expected, going in there, most clients I see in custody, they're usually broken, but he wasn't broken. He isn't broken either. And he's a very strong leader type personality, and he held up in there. He held up in there,
Is he allowed to leave the state?
That was my follow-up question. Is he staying in Chicago or can he go somewhere else?
Well, just wait. He's going. I'm sure somebody from the family is going to talk.
But legally, has it been said that he can leave the state or not?
Well, yes. When the judge gave him probation, he allowed him to travel and stuff, right? So the answer to that question is an absolute yes.
So he has not eaten, or he's eaten very little?
No, he's been drinking ice cold water. Ice water. That's been his food and liquid.
Is this a protest? Is this, what's the...
Charlie, if you were in jail for something you didn't do, I mean, would you eat or would you be... I don't know.
I'm not him, I'm asking.
Yeah, no, I know. Charlie, I don't know. I really don't know, and I'm going to get you those answers. I'm sure Jussie someone from his family at some point will make a statement. But I don't know. But I can only imagine if I was in jail for something I didn't do, or I thought I was in jail and the sentence was too harsh, I doubt I'll be eating. I think food is the last thing I'll be thinking about. Any other questions and we're done? Okay? Okay. Thank you.